This is Halloween, la 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 la. Is that how that song goes? I love Nightmare Before Christmas. So yes, this is the intro. I'm just doing it last minute because I forgot as I was editing my video. So this is for the Halloween collaboration. I absolutely love Halloween. I wouldn't say it's my favourite time of year because my favourite time of year is spring when new life begins, but I just love Halloween. I hate Christmas, so I've started a lot of projects unfinished. The majority are. So what I'm going to do is continue making these Halloween projects right through till Christmas and probably next year. Because I won't be making anything Christmassy because, as I said, I don't like it. So, feast your eyes on this. Anyway, this isn't the piece that I've made for the collaboration. I think I've missed everything else out, haven't I? So, me, myself, Annie Claxton decided to do this collaboration with other friends from YouTube. And they're really, really talented artists, and I just can't wait to see what everybody's come up with. I will leave all the links and everything down below. That's where I really struggle with links and stuff, but I will make sure I do that, and I'm sure Annie will keep me right. So let's get on with it. And there is a hashtag, but as you know, I'm no good at editing, so there'll be nothing flashing on the screen to tell you what it is, so that'll be going down below as well. So I'll just tell you a bit about these things that I've been making. So this is, I hate to say Spider-Man, because it's not Spider-Man, it's a spider, and it was going to be a spider lady, but turned it into a man, put a pumpkin's head on, put some feet on. Still got loads to do with on him, and I'm still not sure how to finish him. And then made some pumpkins. It's the painting I'm really dreading. And these things I'll show you. Oh, Ziggy, look, hope you don't knock everything over. These things, I started them about 2 years ago. I made one that was brilliant, well, in my opinion. So I made loads more. Don't they look funny? The bats, but just the base body of the bats. There's, as you can see, there's lots of them in there. And what I do is flock I'll show you this. This is burlap, and I covered it in Mod Podge to stiffen it up. Then I put the body here, put some decorative wire here for the bones of the wings, and down for the legs I usually use those Swarovski beads, and flock it and hang it upside down. I sold one on my Etsy shop. I think there's a picture on my Instagram. Just trying to rush this up because this is not what you're here for. But that as well, I think I'll make a puppet with that, and these heads and things, and a hand. Yes, so that's the projects I'll be continuing with for many, many months. I might just do a whole year of Halloween anyway, because I love it so much. Yeah, so now I will be going and editing and squishing this on as an intro. Is it a very good intro? I don't know. Anyway, I'll shove my other video onto this of my collaboration project. It was something that I always wanted to try out, but didn't have the confidence to. Even though it's not like a large item, it was just fiddly. Anyway, so I'll go. And I just want to say thank you to Tori for sending me this cute cushion cat. It looks just like Ziggy. Do you think he'll wake up if I lay it on him? Ah, he's so lazy, Ziggy. Ah, you woke up. This is from Tori. Looks just like you. Give it a kiss. There you go. So thank you very much, Tori. And thank you from Ziggy, but he looks far from impressed. So I just thought I'd share with you a few of my ideas in a prototype that I've done for the Halloween collaboration prompt. I've just done a few quick sketches. I've got, my mind was absolutely overloaded with ideas. There's plenty of scope that you can go with Halloween. I've had this box for a few years. I bought 3 of them. Made a box for me mum and me in-law, and I just done a sculpture of clay on top. I put the pictures on my Instagram from, I think it was about 2 years ago. For me mum I done a, what was it? A giraffe, comical giraffe. And I never got around to doing anything for myself. I was going to put like a dragon or something on the top, but I've just been using it to store stuff in. So what I was thinking of doing for this, I was going to do like a, is it a voodoo box? There was a horror movie I watched and there was a witch's box, and when it was opened there was like, I think chicken's feet in it, a voodoo doll and stuff like that. I was going to do that, but I changed my mind, and then I was going to sort of position it like this, a bit like an open book, and I was going to slow stitch background scenery of houses, and then sculpt a hanging tree with skulls, skeletons and that hanging down, a few pumpkins. Or then I was thinking about doing pumpkins and they're on the top, and then an art doll sitting on it, but still might do that, I don't know. So, but the only thing is, if you're making an art doll and sitting it, if you fix it onto the top and when you open it, there's always the fear that you could smash the head, so I don't know. And then I fancied making a spider. I didn't know whether to sculpt it or make it out of fabric. And the front bit of the spider, I would put a torso on it. And maybe it's a sugar skull head. Not sure about that. But yesterday I was just drawing some shapes and came up with this pattern. I mean, it's not a very good pattern, so I'll have to work on it. But what I always do when I'm starting putting a pattern together, I get some cheap felt and use this to make the first prototype. So I just sewed it together and it went wrong, but I quite like that shape for a spider's, is it abdomen? Spider's tail bit. Quite like that. But the thing is, when you're using felt, it feels different, it acts different when you're sewing it. So this is my prototype, enough babbling. So I made this spider, but it's more like, I think it looks more like a beetle, but it's just a prototype. I haven't positioned the legs yet and how I want it to stand. What I used for its body was vintage tablecloth. I left this bit blank because I was going to do some fabric painting on it, just a leaf or a flower or something. That bit's the right way around. I put one inside out for a bit of texture difference. I think I made the body bit too skinny, but I didn't separate the head. But what I was thinking about doing is needle felt in the body bit. to make it look hairy and that, or even flocking it. But I struggled with getting, well, I didn't know how to do the leg, so I just got a piece of this wire, I think it was 16 centimetres, shoved it right through the body and through a button as well, a 2-holed button, just a little plastic button. And then I wrapped it with florist wire, florist tape. When you're using this, it's not very sticky, but if you pull it taut and the heat off your fingers makes it really sticky and it clings to the metal, the wire. So that was good. I mean, that's not my piece for the Halloween collaboration. I don't know, I might make a larger one of these, more detailed, I'm not sure, but this is only a prototype, so it doesn't matter that it went wrong. But if I do make another one, I will video that and show you how I've put it together. I mean, if I do make an art doll or something, that could just be like background, couldn't it? Scenery. Yes, so but I will have to muck around with the pattern more to get a more decent pattern, but it's very handy using graph paper. Yes, so that is it for now. I'm going to get cracking on my other ideas because I've just got hundreds of them and I'm going to try and do them all. So what I'm going to do today is make a rag doll, a skeleton rag doll. I'm just going to draw the basic pattern up here. I'm only going to do one half of the body, do it on a fold and then cut it because I'm just no good at doing things identical. So what size do I want it? You don't have to draw the line down the middle, but I am just keep myself right. So let's see. I'm not going to add the neck bit in because I'll be sculpting the head out of clay, so I'll be adding the neck on the clay. And it's easier to do it on graph paper, so you can count the little squares to get the right size. Right, how many? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going out of frame. So it just looks like a robot's body like that. But now I'm going to add some curves into it. Just thinking, so that's 2, that's 2, so that'd be the body, right. I'm still in frame. Keep going out of frames, terrible. Scratty Ziggy. Right, so now I'm going to fold it And I'm going to cut it out. Where's me scissors? Oh, so not prepared. Oh, there they are on the floor. But what I've missed out, I've just realised, is the gap in the legs. But I'll just cut this first. Right, so now I need my still in frame. Yeah, I need this little line down here to separate the legs. You see, otherwise when you're open it, it's just going to be one fat leg. Right, so am I still in frame? Yes. Right, so that's that. I did do one earlier there. It's a lot smaller. I done this one and I thought the arms aren't very long, so this one is longer. I think I'll try them both anyway. So what I do next is I get some just cardboard from a cereal box and then just draw them onto that, just for better stability when you're drawing around it. I mean, what I used to do when I first started sewing is I used to pin this to the fabric, just the paper bit, but I always used to go wrong. So what I do now is just draw it onto the cardboard and then it's all secure. I don't think you want to watch me doing this, so put your on. When you do this, it's probably going to be a whole lot neater. My hands are still a bit shaky, but it's alright. I'm going to do the other one now. So amongst me friction pens, I found this refill. I bought it the same time as the friction pens, and it is a fabric pen. You just go over it with steam of the iron and it'll vanish. So that was quite useful. But what I was going to use, if that didn't work, was just a Copic marker. A skinny, what's it called? It's a 0.7mm nib. But the thing with that is, it doesn't come off with the heat from an iron, so I'm glad I didn't have to use that. So what I've done, I've just drew around the template on the black fabric, and I tell you what, look at that, I don't know if you can see. Black fabric picks everything up. Hairs the lot. So what I'm going to do is fold the fabric over I'm going to pin it, and then I'm just going to sew around this. And I'm in two minds whether to add a neck bit now, because what I was going to do is just use the neck from the sculpt, but I don't know. I'll see anyway. So what I'm going to do now is take this over to the sewing machine. Well, bring the sewing machine in here and stitch it. There, got it on the sewing machine. I just thought I'd show you this before I forget. I used a 2.5mm stitch. I've stitched it now. I used just white thread, because I tried the black and I just couldn't see it properly. So, I mean, it's a skeleton, so it doesn't matter if some of these stitches show through. So I've just stitched around the white outline. I did add a neck piece. I mean, if I don't like it, I can always tuck it into the body. Reinforced stitches around the joints, because they'll get a lot of stress from when I'm going to turn it inside out, which I'm not looking forward to. So I'm just going to cut this out, and around the corner bits I'm going to trim. Yes, I'm going to get cracking with that. Look at this poor bedraggled figure. It was an absolute nightmare to turn inside out, so if you're going to do this, don't add the neck until after, and leave a wide gap here where the neck should be. I did manage, as you can see, to turn it the right way around, but I've got these thermostats, and if you've only got these, it's not going to cut it. Fortunately, I've got these massive ones, because what you've got to do is shove it in the hole and then open it up, but because these are so small, you can't open it up, where these are longer, and that worked. And then once I got through the tiny little gap, I put this chopstick in and just turned it round to manipulate the fabric through the gap. But that took longer than it should have done, about 20 minutes. And it's all wrinkled, so I'm going to have to iron them. And I trimmed around the, what's these, armpits. But it's still not as good as what I anticipated, but I'll work with that. And if you don't like the stitches shown through the white, you can always mark them with a black liner to hide them, because I think I'll do it with that and the one on the crutch. What, Ziggy? Well, I've made another body piece because this was just so fiddly, and really fiddly to stuff it because of the small opening at the top. Anyway, I did stuff it too much and it sort of split the stitch, and I mean, I can sew that. So I will finish this, but not now, because I want to get cracking with the sculpting and that. So I made another one. I did trim under the crutch bit, but it still gathered a little bit, but that doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do now, I've got some pipe cleaners. I'm going to put this bit in the arms and this bit in the body and the legs to make it a little bit stiffer. So there's no sharp points. I've turned the bottom of the pipe cleaner over. So now I will get on with stuffing, and what I find really useful to stuff, not this chopstick, because the what do you call this, the stuffing just doesn't want to go with the metal and it just moves all over. So I've got this wooden chopstick, and I've broke the end of it, and I find that really good at stuffing things. Also, I will be using these thermostats. Really handy to get in right down the bottom. You just clip this in here and then shove it down. I still haven't finished stuffing it. I would not recommend this way of making a doll to anybody. It is so fiddly, really fiddly. What I'm doing with this, I'm going to make, this one's going to be a skeleton and this one's going to be a ghoul. I've already sculpted the head and the feet and the hands. What I do with this one is just wrap wire around the neck joint there to secure that in place, and with a bit of hot glue. The same with the feet and the hands, and then I'll wrap it in this batting, and then I will stitch the clothes over the top of the armature. That is so much easier for me to do. This is an absolute nightmare, but I wanted to try it out, just something different, because I don't normally, well, I've never done this before, but never again. When I finish this doll, I will never make another one of these again. Well, maybe he's finished that one off, but after that, never again. Right, I'm going to attempt to sculpt the head now. I've had enough of the sewing bit and stuffing bit, and this is the bit I enjoy more. So where is that? I've just got a bit of tin foil and made this overly shaped thing. I've got this little hammer that I use just to tap it to get it more even, so there's no bits sticking up. That'll pierce the clay. I've just drew a few sketches of the skull that I want it to look like, but every time I start a design it usually changes shape anyway. Just push it in with me hands. I normally sit on the floor to do this, to whack it into shape. Right. I went to the range the other day and I bought some black clay. I normally use Super Sculpey, but I wanted black because I'm going to make something else, and white, and I could not find white clay anywhere. So there's this Fimo effect. It's night glow, so I don't know if it glows up in the dark or what, so I just thought I would use that. See if I can get into it. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you and show the whole sculpting bit, because what I usually do when I'm starting, I try and get the shape that I want, and then I usually just sit and stare at it, because I just to decide what I'm going to do. I haven't got the rolling pin out. And some sculpting tools. I normally just use me fingers, but with these little small fiddly things, you need tools, and that's my favourite tool to use. I think it's like a shaper what you use when you're painting. Never used it when I'm been painting. But right. So I'm just chopping the clay up. I like to cut it in these tiny little bits, and then it's not like tough on your hand when you're trying to condition it. There, and all these little bits. So I'm going to condition it now. So I will pause you. Right, it's all squidgy now. So then what I do is roll it, move them out the way, roll it into a ball, and then get this on it. I hate using white clay. It's like the black fabric, it picks up every little bit of muck on it. But I intend to highlight this a bit. So can you see already tiny little bits as you're adding. So then I just cover it. I'm not sure which is the top or the bottom yet, so I'm not going to add the white armature into the head right now. Need some more clay. You don't really get much, do you, on the female? Right, I'm going to keep doing this until all the seams are invisible. So that's what I've come up with so far. So where I want the eye holes to be, I'm going to add some more clay, because this is only like a thin layer over the tin foil. And then I'll smooch all that together. Well, that's what I've come up with. I don't like this clay at all. It's just really super sticky, and it's just, well, I suppose it's because I'm used to working with super Sculpey, but I just couldn't get the shapes I wanted. When I was trying to manipulate the clay, it's just... So what I'm going to do is bake this, and then I'm going to do the neck separate, because I think if I try and do the neck now, it's just going to squish everything out of shape. I might put a few more marks on the skull, not sure, but that's what it is. I mean, it's alright, I'm not over the moon with it, but it'll be going on this body, so might look better when I've added all the highlights and that I want to add, but and then after that I will be attaching it to the body and painting the body. I've never done that either with I'm going to use the Posca white, because I think with the paint it's not going to be very good and I'm liable to make plenty of mistakes. So what I did here, I painted 3 layers of gesso over the doll, letting it dry in between coats. It's supposed to be clear gesso, but it's not that clear once it's on the fabric. But what I'm going to do now is paint the whole body black, let it dry, and then I can start the to draw the bones and that of the skeleton. I've got a plastic skeleton somewhere. I think it's on top of my shelf, and I'll look at that for reference to paint the doll. So I've painted the body black, just the first coat. It looks like leather. I just hope it doesn't flake off. While I had my paints out, I thought I would paint the ghoul's hands and feet. I was going to paint them black, and then I seen this nice purple colour I've never used before, so I just put that on. The skeleton's head, it was glow-in-the-dark paint. It's a bit too bright, so I put a wash of burnt umber and wiped it off. Then just black paint around the eyes, and then I just used my embossing tool, like a dotting tool, just to add the what do you call them, the black bits of the eye. Is it the pupils? Well, that. And I think it turned out alright. And this is the spider thing that I'll finish the sculpting later on. And that's that so far. Well, it took me an age to fasten the head of the skeleton into the body. I had to use this, didn't want to use super glue because I know that can melt polymer clay. So I used this fabric glue, and I had to hold it down for 10 minutes and just stitch around the neck joint. It's secure now, but you know what, I've changed my mind what I want to do. I was just going to paint the body so it would be a skeleton, but I might turn it into the Day of the Dead doll. Just paint the face up and add a dress. If I was to make this again, I know I said I wasn't, but if I was, I'd do the arms separate. I'd just fasten them with a button so they hang down a bit. I've took some of the stuffing out to try and get the arms down, but the paint's flaking off. So I think I'll just have to leave the arms like that. It looks funny, doesn't it? But I have got other projects to do, so we'll see. Well, I'm attempting to put the bones onto the skeleton. Well, it's alright, I guess. But I think I will try this again. The Poscas are holding up pretty well. Don't know if I said that, repeating myself. And I'm going to continue it now. You know what? I'm quite pleased with that. I mean, it's not exact the way a human skeleton should be. And the pelvis bone's a bit skew. And one leg seems to be longer than the other. I don't know how that's worked out. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. So I'm not going to cover it up. Just going to leave it like this. And I'm going to do... I wasn't going to do the back of it, but I may as well do the back of it.